Hey, crazy mofos. That's Stay Clint in the house commenting. How's it going, everybody who's already joining us right now? Thanks for getting involved. It's the live Pig and the Hen show, not Wednesday night this week. Why wasn't it Wednesday night?
I think you owe an apology to Stay Clint, because I read the comments, right, from our... And he wrote this comment before the scheduled Pig and the Hen show yesterday. You got some shit on your nose, by the way. Black bit of something around. But what is that, mate? Saw your face out on the camera.
Could be ash. Could be ash, mate.
He said really looking forward to the show tonight, and obviously the show didn't happen last night. So there's two ways you could think about this. It's either your fault because it was Valentine's evening, and surely you should have a lovely lady or something like that, or a lovely bloke or whatever it is that you're into, right? And you should be treating. You shouldn't be looking forward to the Pig and the Hen show. Should be enjoying your Valentine's evening. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Expecting there to be a show yesterday? What are you thinking? Or it could be completely our fault, couldn't it? So I don't know. If you got some explaining to do.
You've got a good point there, mate. To be fair, it was Valentine's Day yesterday. You know, we never said it, but you know the fact is, we've got girlfriends, wives, whatever you want to call them, wags. Yeah, wags. We've got them, and the thing is, on Valentine's Day, you know, you've got certain expectations to uphold, and of course, if you want to get any action, you've got to provide these expectations. So that's basically what it boils down to.
I don't disagree with that, but I was still, in all honesty, though, I was still hankering after a Pig and the Hen show last night. I was trying to contact this guy. What did he do? It's Valentine's Day, so I throw my phone down the toilet or something. Is that what you're thinking?
Bit of quiet time, you know what I mean?
Completely uncontactable.
I put it in sexy time mode.
You should have just driven around like I normally do. I was thinking, this bastard's still sleeping. Isn't it? That's what I usually do.
Trust.
Well, down Domino's, getting your free pizza or whatever it is.
Didn't have it this Wednesday, mate. I don't know if it was Valentine's effing the offer up, but no, there was no free pizza on the Ubuntu app this week.
What was there? What was it?
Free cupcake.
Oh, did you have it?
I didn't, no.
Oh, shame.
Shame, it's a bad story, but there you go. Everybody who's tuned in right now live, thanks so much for tuning in. Do us a favour, chuck a like on this video, and if you want to give it a share on social media as well, go for it.
Please do. But I'm not finished with you about this Valentine's Day.
No, I'm not finished either, mate.
Because you were trying to extend it to today. So I tried to I was contacting him today. I thought I had an emergency number for him, like another funny number that sometimes he contacts me for. So I thought, well, I'll give that a try. Maybe the bastard's dead. Is he still alive? I haven't been in contact. It's supposed to be the Pig and the Hen show last night. What's going on?
Yeah.
So I give him a call, and he's like, well, you know, I'm still sort of chilling with the lovely lady. You know, it was Valentine's yesterday. Sort of going around hers later, etc., etc., whatever. I'm thinking, what is this about extended Valentine? Since when does that exist?
No, you've got me there, mate. But the fact of the matter is, I'm here now, you know, providing you guys with an albeit late live video podcast. You know, we're used to Wednesday nights here on the Pig and the Hen show. That's what we do every Wednesday night UK time around about 8 PM. Although we never actually start then. Also, I tweeted out earlier that we would be starting this show at 6 o'clock, and it's actually like 6:45 or whatever the time is. So we're late again. Apologies for that. Guess what? That's Henry's fault, because he was supposed to turn up at 6 and he was late. Like he always is late. Explain yourself.
Well, it's Chinese New Year tomorrow. I've got preparations to uphold.
Can I just ask, what preparations are you making for Chinese New Year,
Making Chinese dumplings.
You're getting the menu for Chinese restaurants to call? It's not hard, is it?
No, making my own Chinese.
You're making your own Chinese?
Yeah, why not?
Serious?
Yeah.
So what's on the menu then, Henry?
Chinese pork dumplings. Pork and chive, pork and you know, I
it's all pork, basically. Do you not like chicken? Do you not like chicken?
Well, I like chicken sometimes, but not for that meal. You know, it depends what sort of meal you're having, doesn't it?
You're having an all-pork meal.
It's just pork dumplings, that's all it is. You just make us some pork dumplings to eat.
You're having pork dumplings on their own? Just a bowl full of pork dumplings?
Yeah, a bit of vinegar, a bit of chilli.
Are you serious?
That's what people eat in some parts of the world. What's your problem? What have you eaten? Your Domino's pizza, your
yeah, that's right. At least there's a little bit of variety to that.
Off an app. At least I actually cook stuff at home. Do you know what I mean?
At least there's a bit of variety to that, mate. Do you know what I mean? Where's the noodles,
mozzarella, tomato sauce,
where's the egg fried
pizza
rice?
Base?
Where's the egg fried rice, mate? Where's the noodles, pal? Where's the sweet and sour chicken balls? Fucking dumplings! A bowl full of fucking dumplings is what you're telling me? One kind of food to eat, just a bowl, endless bowl of? What's that, like China's version of ravioli or something?
No, you have it with sides, don't you? You don't know nothing, mate. You don't know nothing. You ain't no fast food because you think it's fast.
Anyway,
or
fair play
something.
to you, mate. I did not know it was Chinese New Year tomorrow. Anybody who's joining us from that part of the world who celebrates it, for whatever reason, happy Chinese New Year to you.
Now and what year we're going into?
Yeah, it's the year of the dragon, and we're going into the year of the hare.
It's not at all. It's not at all.
Right, what is it then?
Right, it is the year of the chicken at the moment. So it's the year of the hen. Basically, it's the year we're coming to the end of the year of the hen. Is it now? Are we still on here?
Hang on, we're having some sort of issue here. Yep, we're all good. We're all good.
So it's been the year of the hen. That's why it's been a great year for me, I guess, because I am the hen. And you would have thought this year coming. It's not the year of the pig, though. Unfortunately, it's not. It is the dog.
The year of the dog. Do they have a year of the pig?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
What year were you born on? Do you know that?
I was born in the year of the rabbit, so really I should be the rabbit. But you're the same. You're the rabbit as well.
I'm the rabbit as well.
You're the because we're both born in the same year, weren't we?
Oh yeah, fuck. So I'm not really hot on the Chinese New Year thing, you know. Sorry about that, mate. But you're educating me. You're educating me, and you're educating the masses out there that are watching this.
What star sign are you? Whilst we're on this kind of horoscological stuff.
Virgo, the Virgin.
Virgo. So basically, you're a woman, isn't it?
Basically, I'm a virgin woman.
You're a woman, a virgin woman. Explains a lot.
What are you?
I'm a Libra. Pair of scales out.
Pair of scales. Fucking dodgy dealer. Dodgy dealer. What are you doing?
You know,
knocking off a bit of meth, are you? Makes sense. You look like it in your meth dealer jacket right now, pal. What have you got on the inside of that?
I thought I fancied a change to the parka. It's just not quite as cold this evening, so I thought, mix it up a little bit. Fortunately, the zip is broken on this. Hence the open look. But I think, what I mean?
Fair play to you, mate. It's actually quite nice. You look sort of like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2.
Well, there we go. That was the.
You basically just robbed somebody of their clothes, their boots, and their motorcycle on the way here.
You look like that kid in Terminator 2, but how he looks now.
You're talking about John Connor. John Connor.
Was he the kid in Terminator 2?
In Terminator 2, the little kid.
What does he look like now?
Well, he doesn't look anything like me, mate, because he's like skinny.
Someone get a picture of a black guy. He was in American History X.
Yeah, his name's Ed Furlong, mate. I even know his name right there. Ed Furlong. He looks nothing like me, mate. I'm not saying you look like Arnie, but I'm just saying you got the same freaking jacket, mate.
Furlong, isn't that someone?
That's his name, Ed Furlong, yeah.
Fair enough.
I just told you.
Isn't he's in rehab or something? He's had a troubled life, he has. But you would, wouldn't you, if you were sort of experiencing those Terminator kind of shit when you were a kid? I mean, you would be messed up.
How old was he, though? I think he was like 14 at least, surely, during that film. Do you know what I mean? Macaulay Culkin, though, another child actor who went on to just be a complete mess head. I think he sorted himself out.
Alone, even more fucked up, isn't it? That is a messed up film, though, in a way, isn't it?
What a
He's
concept.
Left at home on his own.
Little kid.
Do you know what I mean?
Nice parenting there, guys.
Yeah, man,
Two burglars trying to break in there. Nice one.
They almost wouldn't be able to make a film like that these days because the whole world's gone PC mad, isn't it? So do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't be allowed. It's like leaving a kid at home alone. Do you know what I mean? So services would be straight involved, wouldn't it? Take that child away. It's just a movie, guys. It's just a movie.
Home Alone with only one parental unit present. That's what I'd have to do. But anyway, yeah, here we are, the Pig and the Hen show. We always just talk absolute cod shit for the first 8 minutes of these things. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows that. But we are here to discuss football, really. It's a little bit of a football rundown for the week. Some big results, some huge stuff going on in the footballing world. Right now we are actually watching, it's half-time at the moment, the Arsenal-Östersunds FK game that's taking place currently in Sweden.
So we could have been, sorry, let me just get this right, okay? So we could have been following Real Madrid PSG yesterday evening and maybe Liverpool Porto 5-0 destruction, right? Of an unbeaten team. Your arch nemesis, the Liverpool, obviously Manchester United fan, But no, we're watching. We're attempting to watch or cover Arsenal versus some team that I've never heard of, which is like 4th in the Swedish division or something, isn't it? It's like. What,
How narrow-minded of you, mate.
Terrible, isn't it? People were waiting for us to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. We can still talk about Cristiano Ronaldo this evening, but we could have been doing it live.
Listen, everybody's more interested in Östersund versus Arsenal and Danny Welbeck starting the game. Surely everybody's interested in that.
All for you, Alex Rudd. Where's your donation this evening? Arsenal special, prick.
But anyway, let's talk about what's happened then. Of course, PSG got battered by Real Madrid, 3-1. Cristiano Ronaldo getting himself a couple of goals. And it was a really good performance by them. They've been struggling big time over in La Liga.
What position are they in? What position are they in?
Don't even know. 5th? 4th? 4th, man.
Behind
Real Madrid in 4th.
Behind Valencia.
It's February and Real Madrid are in 4th.
Behind Atletico Madrid. Who's the biggest Madrid in town? It sounds like it's Atletico at the moment.
Yeah, but Atletico are a great team, to be fair. You know, if they were behind Barcelona and Atletico, you could understand that.
Okay.
But to be fourth, I mean, for Real Madrid, that's terrible with the resources they've got.
What are you saying, Atletico better than Valencia?
100%, yeah, 100%. Diego Simeone, much better team. You know what I mean?
Historically?
Historically, yes.
Valencia's quite a big team.
Quite a big team. They're up there. They're like a Spurs, you know. They're like 7th best in the league.
But then Spurs are...
Yeah, they are like 4th.
With the big boys these days. We'll move on to that shortly, won't we?
Yeah.
Unlike you lot.
But anyway... Cristiano Ronaldo get himself a couple of goals there, and you know, good for him, good for them. Don't really care, to be honest. You know, Champions League, of course, it's very important. Interesting to see. I wanted to talk more about your boys actually going over to Turin and getting a decent result in that game. Juventus versus Tottenham.
Spectacular. So obviously, got to talk about the Spurs. To go 2-0 down that quickly, it was kind of like, what are you doing, Tottenham? You're just showing everyone that you're just the old school Tottenham cannot stand up to the big boys out there. You know, Juventus, massive club. They were finalists 2017, that was last year. I think finalists 2015, was it? I think they made a couple of finals recently. Yes, they haven't won it in 20 years. But, you know, it's some of the players they've got, they were unbeaten and, in fact, hadn't conceded a goal for games and games and games before we put 2 in the other night. You know, when they had already put 2 in. So it just shows a lot of bottle from Tottenham. We absolutely wiped the floor with them in terms of the performance of the whole evening. Yes, they scored the first couple of goals and had a good bit of play that first 15 minutes.
Could have been 3-0 up.
But after that, we were just all over them. You know, the scoreline could have been a lot different. Gunshi in the house with the donation. Thank you very much, Mr. Gunshi.
Hey, Gunshi, how you doing,
enjoying the Champions League yourself. So, yes, some interesting results.
Oh, no. Gunshi, thanks you so much for your super chat there. He says, I stayed up until 5 a.m. to watch your show last night. Have you no shame? Oh, no. Sorry, mate. I'm sorry, Gunshi. That's poor from us.
Obviously, it shows your missus is more important than Gunshi, isn't it? That's what it comes down to.
That's what it pretty much comes down to, mate. Yeah. Hang on, I'm having a bit of a charger issue, mate, here. You just speak for a second while I try and sort this technical issue out.
I can continue to talk. So where were we? So, yeah, Tottenham, with a massive result. Obviously, we're not going to get carried away. We didn't win the game. I think Tottenham have had almost too much praise from the performance in some respects because it's like, bottom line, why shouldn't we be able to put... It doesn't mean... What is happening here? Are we still on?
I don't know if we're still on, mate. I don't know if we're still on. You keep talking, mate. You keep talking. I've got some sort of technical issues.
We can compete with the big boys. Performances for people like Moussa Dembele, who I think is just an absolute beast. He has been for a long time. It's good to see him main stake in the team at the moment. It was an interesting move from Pochettino to drop Son and move Lamela in for the game. But I think Lamela played well, and it's good to see him back. And you know, this is an interesting one, right? I quickly wanted to go through Tottenham's second string team, right, and just sound out how poor it sounds, because I think we have got strength and depth. We've got a couple of underperformers, such as Musa Sissoko to a certain extent. But okay, let's do our second string team. So Michel Vorm in goal, okay. Let's say Aurier, I think, is second to Trippier in Poch's mind at the moment. So Aurier right back, Danny Rose left back. Okay.
Charge, you bastard! Sorry, mate.
Are you listening to these?
Yeah.
Right, and then it would be Davinson Sanchez if we're saying Toby Alderweireld and Vertonghen are your first two. So you'd have Davinson Sanchez and a young lad fourth in the back. Okay, so that's not one kind of maybe unknown player that you have in that back five. Okay, if you look at the midfield, we've bought Lucas Moura, who was slot right in. Okay.
Hey Henry, I fixed it now, so you can stop rambling now, mate. Thank you for filling the dead air there, pal. But nobody's interested in this Spurs second string bollocks.
Sissoko.
Sissoko? Serious?
Llorente up front. Eric Lamela, if Son's not...
So basically what you're saying is Spurs' second string team is shit.
Wanyama, because he's not playing in the first team at the moment either. You know, we've got a strong squad at the moment, so I really do fancy that we can get past Juventus and continue to do well in the Champions League.
Alex Rudd gave you what you wanted, mate. $2
Thank you so much, Alex Rudd. That's what I mean. We're not going to talk about Arsenal. We've just got Arsenal in the background. Managed to hook that little £2 from you there. Thank you, geezer.
Yeah, just in case you were looking for an update, which I'm sure you're not, In the Europa League, the secondary competition in Europe, Arsenal are currently beating Östersund 2-0 away from home in Sweden at the moment. Now, I just wanted to talk about Östersund for a second. It's quite an interesting story. No, we haven't talked about it, but we're just talking about Östersund for a moment, okay, mate? Calm down. Don't get your knickers in a twist, mate. Don't get your knickers in a twist.
Nobody cares about. People want to listen about Champions League.
Because I wanted to talk about something. Because I wanted to talk about something, mate.
Nobody wants to listen to what you got to talk about.
Now, listen to me. Östersund have the only remaining English manager in European competition this season. That's something to talk about, mate. Graham Potter, a man who once managed or coached at the University of Hull, is the only manager left. But fair play to him, you know. He's gone over to Sweden there, been given an opportunity, got back-to-back promotions with the team, steadied them. They beat Galatasaray 3-1 on aggregate to qualify for this competition. I just think that's an amazing managerial story. They're a tiny club. They're a tiny club, and they managed to get here. They're playing Arsenal here. Okay, they're getting battered, but what an amazing achievement. That's all I want to say, mate. Now back to the Champions League.
It's brilliant. Hopefully he can carry on doing what he's been doing. There are amazing stories from him. He's more than just a manager. He's a complete breath of fresh air for what he's done for the club there. Massive achievement from the resources he's had. And I heard an interesting story about him, right? He actually makes his players do theatre, right? He actually makes them do plays and stuff for the local, because he's a strong believer in what the club does for the local community. So he almost looks at it as an extension to the town, right? So yeah, he makes his players do. I don't know if they're doing Hamlet or what. Do you know what I mean?
That's crazy. Seriously,
cats. Who knows?
Are you serious?
Well, that's what I heard, yeah.
That's pretty weird. That's extreme coaching, techniques, but fair play to him. It's obviously working, whatever he's doing, building that team spirit.
It's not working tonight, is it?
Well, do you expect it to work against Arsenal?
Because Arsene Wenger is putting on better plays, isn't it? That's what it's about.
He's a better director.
Very much so.
But, anyway, back to the Champions League, of course. So Spurs set themselves up for the return leg there at Wembley in a good position. They've got 2 away goals.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Kane on fire again. Another goal from Kane. Ericsson with a free kick goal. It sets us up that we just can't lose at Wembley. If we don't lose, we're through, unless it's 3-3 or 4-4, which I don't see happening. Hopefully we're through, and fingers crossed we can press on it in the Champions League. But it's going to get tough now. It is we're talking about the big boys. What I do think the Champions League shows is the strength of the Premier League at the moment. We've got 5 teams in there. I know Chelsea haven't played yet. I know yourselves, United, haven't played yet. But from those first 3 games of Premier League sides, right, you've got Liverpool absolutely wiping away Porto 5-0. Right? I know it's Porto, maybe not one of the biggest clubs in the world, but they were undefeated for however many games they've had.
They've still won the Champions League as well. So Spurs have never done that, have they? So they're a bigger club than Spurs.
At home should not just be. You shouldn't be able to just smite them away like a fucking mosquito as easily as Klopp and those boys did yesterday. 5-0, massive result for the people. Talk about Liverpool win the Champions League. I don't know about that, but if there's one team that could beat City, Manchester City, because I'm going to move on to them shortly, then it is Liverpool, because they have done that at Anfield this season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to go back to Spurs, I think I actually don't think they're in any better position. Okay, they have got the couple of away goals. That is a factor. But still, they've got to beat Juventus on one night,
It's
Juventus
I think we should be all right.
You should be all right.
But it's still...
But Juventus are a big game team, they are. You said, they've reached how many finals out the last few years? Gianluigi Buffon still there's last season, I believe, yeah?
You have to say they were favourites, over the two ties, wouldn't you say?
Definitely, and I still think they are favourites to progress through.
I don't think
Spurs are not a Champions League team. Juventus have the ability to go there and steamroll Spurs. 4-0 to Juventus.
To come back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2, those away goals mean everything. For the Tottenham players, that
100%,
result the other night 100%. Will feel like a victory.
That's right.
Will feel like a victory, and if we don't go through, it's because we merit on the night.
Exactly.
But it's we sit with the advantage. We are advantage Federer.
Definitely.
We are at the moment.
Those 2 goals you scored are huge, mate, because it stops the result being 6-0 on aggregate. It's now going to be 6-2 on aggregate to Juventus.
We had the hardest team as well. So people can't mug Spurs off and say, oh, well, Liverpool have already done it. Man City have already done it. No, you were playing Porto. Yes, good team, but it's not Juventus, is it? And Manchester City obviously played...
Don't even remember.
Yes, you do, because they beat you, innit? Basel beat United.
Oh, yeah, Basel.
United
4-0,
wasn't it,
to Man City? Shit.
When you were at Basel. But then again, you lose in
Yeah,
Newcastle
come on now.
stuff,
Fuck
you?
off,
You know,
mate. Who's higher in the league? Who's won the Champions League?
I think
You haven't.
Jose hasn't watched... Jose Mourinho, he hasn't watched enough Game of Thrones.
Oh, what
Because he's one of these, like, like, winter is coming, you know, danger from the north and that. Absolutely mad it the other night, didn't you? What were you thinking?
Anyway.
What walkers absolutely destroyed you, didn't they?
Anyway, United do have Sevilla coming up. We should be able to negotiate that fixture. But the thing is, if we can't beat Newcastle United, Rafa Benitez, the Spanish waiter himself, then what? You know, you can't guarantee that we're going to beat Sevilla over 2 legs either. Tough fixture at this stage. You know, we're not the most fluid. We're not the most confident of teams at the moment.
Concerning. It's
Consistency's well out the window. You know?
I had a conversation with some other friends, you know, the other evening. Okay, people you know, but I haven't
lie.
told you the conversation we've had yet until this moment right now. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, the conversation was one of them's a Manchester City fan. Lucky him, right? He's, you know, Manchester City. Okay, they're another level this season, but the other 2 teams that are playing the best football that are, you know, you'd be most happy to be a fan of at the moment for me is Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur all day long. United, there are issues. Chelsea, there are issues. There is
what a load of rubbish,
unhappiness in the ranks.
What a load of
I'm telling you.
That's pure tosh, mate. You'd rather
Not
be...
at all.
You know, you're a Spurs fan, so you're wearing freaking Spurs-coloured glasses here, yeah? But you're telling me you'd be happier being a fan. So what? Look at where you are in the league, mate. You're below us in the league. You're gonna have to silence
I'm gonna ignore it. How do I silence it without letting the person know that I don't want to
press
speak
the down button, mate, I think, on your volume key. There you go. Sorted.
Sorted. I'm speaking to you right now.
So basically, yeah, I mean, I'd much rather... I think Manchester United are a better place at the moment. You know why? Shall I tell you why as well?
Go on, then.
It's not just about how you're playing at the moment. Okay, you beat us. You're doing okay at the moment. Going to Juventus, scoring a couple of goals. Nice one, yeah? But hang on a second. What are you actually going to do in terms of growth, in terms of, you know, ambition at the club? They don't have it. It's not like they're going to go out there and all sign a few world-class key players to try and challenge for the Premier League trophy next season. Spurs are a perennial...
What are you on about?
They're a perennial 5th place club.
Listen, you are not winning the Premier League this season, okay? You are competing for the Champions League.
And you are?
Are we.
And you are you?
You are competing... No, we're not.
You're getting top 4 this season,
No,
mate.
listen.
You're going to drop back out.
Listen, okay, you're 2nd right now, we're 5th, okay? Granted, we can all see what the fucking numbers say when you look at that league table, right?
I rest my case. Exhibit A.
Shut up. Right now, you are competing for Champions League, so are we. We already just had a decent result away in a tough Turin night at Juventus there, okay? We are in the FA Cup, so are you. We're both competing for that. We've got Rochdale next. We should be able to take them. You know, get through to the quarterfinals of that, right? It's 5th round next, so we're getting close to that, aren't we? That could be another potential trophy. Right, Premier League, yes,
Spurs.
neither of us is going to win it, but last time I checked, we're 4 points behind you, 5 points. It's not that many.
It's not that many, no. It's not that many.
But
it's still a significant amount.
4 points behind you. Liverpool are 2 points behind you, playing much better football. You guys must be a little bit concerned right now. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying, because you are not playing scintillating football at all.
But we're
boring, gash-tastic shite.
But we're still higher in the league than you guys. So what does that say about your season, mate? Lackluster. But anyway, no, you're right, actually. You bring up a good point there. I am a little bit worried, because if you look at United's next, say, 4 or 5 fixtures, obviously we've got Huddersfield in the FA Cup, we've got Sevilla twice, but the other 2 games making up our next 5 fixtures, I believe, are Chelsea and Liverpool, yeah? Which, we could have done without that now.
Big game, Chelsea.
Big games.
United.
Although probably a good time to play Chelsea. I know they did win the other day, bit of a bounce back. But they've not been doing too good recently. So probably a really good time for us to play Chelsea. And then, you know, with the Manchester-Liverpool game, throw form out the window. It's all about what happens on the day. Anything can happen. Liverpool, Kloppy, very attacking. They could just tear us apart. Or we could do a Jose Mourinho defence job on them and nick the game. So
3-0 Arsenal.
Huge couple of games coming up for us anyway, yeah.
3-0 Arsenal. Wenger sat there. He doesn't look that happy because he's just thinking, you know, this isn't the Champions League.
Hang on. Is that a fly on the screen, mate? Is that a fly on the screen? Hang on, let's just mess it up.
What a messer. His face is an absolute messer.
But anyway, there you go. Pretty much seals the game up now, doesn't it, for Arsenal here against Ostersons?
Well done. You beat, you know, Potter's Ostersons.
You beat Potter's team there, but... No, fair enough. Fair play to them. I think they've done well just to get to this stage anyway. But in terms of the Champions League, the Premier competition in Europe, not this second-rate Europa League nonsense that Arsenal are in, I think you've got to look at any of the English teams having a fair chance this season to do it. Of course, City will be the favourites, but then you can pretty much take your pick between the next ones. I don't actually think Liverpool are as likely to win the trophy as Spurs or even Manchester United right now. No, because...
wow, you think Tottenham are more likely to win Champions League than
Liverpool? I probably
do,
yeah.
Say that? Based on... shocked me. Is that my Valentine's present? That is something, isn't it?
Based on the performance against Juventus, the strength currently shown in the Premier League, I think Liverpool have got it in them just to get battered by anybody on any night, whereas I don't see Spurs getting dominated that hard. You saw what happened, 9 minutes in the game against Juventus, they're 2-0 down. What do? They dominate the rest of the game, claw themselves back into it. A great result, really. That's the sort of fight you want to see from your team. And Pochettino's teams are, good attacking-wise and good defensively. Historically don't concede a lot of goals. So that's something that Liverpool don't have. I expect to see Klopp attacking, and they'll probably get torn apart once they come up against somebody good. Of course, who do they play? Porto. At the moment, they're not in the best spell for them. They certainly don't have the players that Jose Mourinho had at his disposal when he was coming through as manager.
They're still undefeated though for a long time.
Still a very good team. Yeah.
I mean, that was it's a great performance for Liverpool. You can't take anything away.
I'm not taking anything away from them.
Salah scored. Mane got his hat trick. Who's the other fella? Firmino scored. I mean, that's what you want. All those front players scoring.
Definitely, but they're also not one of the top teams in Europe, and I think you'll see when Liverpool do come up against one of those that they're easy to get out of the back.
Top team I disagree with you.
Well, look at that Man City game. Listen, that's the best you're going to see Liverpool play. Hold on, let me speak for a second here, mate. We don't have 2 microphones, and even if we did, it's one at a fucking time, all right, mate? So, basically...
You sounded like some cunt from a game show or something. One at a time.
One at a time, prick. Contestant number 2, step right
up. So they says. Prick.
But anyway, wanker. So basically... you've totally made me forget what the fuck I was going to talk about there.
Good.
What was it?
That's what I wanted to do.
What was it?
Some game show or something.
It wasn't some game show shit, mate. Oh.
Have I made you?
You've made me, mate. Manchester City or something to do with those pricks.
Well, I know what I wanted to say. Should I just crack on what I wanted to say?
Go on, say it then. Say it.
Sorry, mate. But I think the best team in Europe right now is Manchester City. The one team, apart from Shakhtar Donetsk, that's been able to beat Manchester City is Liverpool, right? In a game that really meant something because Man City...
That's what I was going to say, mate. Right, be quiet again now. Be quiet again now. Because I remember what I was going to say.
You're going to say what I said.
No, remember what I was going to say now. Look at that game. Liverpool versus Manchester City, okay? The very best Liverpool turned up on that day, attacking-wise. They tore them open. Man City hadn't lost a game in however long in the Premier League. And then Liverpool come up against them. They beat them. Guess what? They very nearly threw that game away as well. It was 4-3 come the end of the game. Now, I'm not taking anything away from their performance. They won the game, they attacked, but they also got ripped open after being in a very strong position of being 4-1 up.
Yeah.
That goes to show you the vulnerabilities they've got at the back. They're hoping to get this Van Dijk in, short things up, make the defence all solid all of a sudden. It's not happened.
It has to a certain extent.
It hasn't to a certain extent, mate. Absolutely not.
No, he doesn't. He looked great last night.
Bang average.
He's looking good at the moment. I think he's looking very good. I think 75 million is cheap for Van Dijk. I think he is going to be an absolute world-class player.
We can't talk over each other like this, mate. It's annoying for the viewers at home, man.
Well, I'm
going to have to give you a second warning. If it happens again, you're gone, mate.
Try it. I'm wearing the Arnie jacket.
Jack and Brad Gaming with a £2 super chat. Thank you very much, Jack and Brad. And he says, best team? Best team, question mark? Is Henry on the Holston pills?
No, I'm actually on the Lucozade Energy Orange.
He's all buzzed up, that's what it is.
4 of these from Pound Shop for, guess what, £1.
He's drunk on glucose.
330 millilitres for £1. 4 of these. Now, that's more like 1995 prices. Do you know what I'm saying? That is fucking good.
When's the expiration date on them? Last week?
No, it is this month. I did check. That's probably why
that's why, but still a good deal. A good deal, but not one you're going to find there regularly.
I think Liverpool, some teams' attack is the best defence. A team like City, you have to just outplay them if you want to be able to beat them. Liverpool did that. Liverpool is a breath of fresh air. I think they could quite easily sweep a lot of sides aside. Yes, they've got defensive issues, but I think Van Dijk's a fantastic signing. I think Liverpool would just as likely win Champions League as Tottenham right now. But we're both in it, and it's fantastic to see. Absolutely fantastic to see. I wanted to talk about PSG quickly before I forget. Right? I think PSG have got problems, and do you know what the biggest problem they have is? In my opinion,
Neymar prick?
Is the fact that they play in League 1. They play in the French league. and they just don't have any competition. So it's easy for them. They sweep sides aside. In many respects, in a similar fashion to the way Basel just dominate in their league and Porto in Portugal as well, to a certain extent. Yes, you've got Benfica or whatever, but it's basically Porto just dominating over there. So they don't get the chance to play competitive games of a high standard enough to I think warrant them being a favourite for the Champions League. I think they have been misjudged this league. I think Real Madrid showed that last time, not being the strongest Real Madrid side by any means at all this season. 3-1 to them, showed their...
Do you know what? I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit there.
I thought you were going to say you were going to agree with me. I thought you were going to say for once. I'm going to agree with you because I think I was talking complete sense there.
No, maybe, but did you watch the game?
I listened to the game.
Right, well, I watched a lot of the game, and personally, I thought that PSG ripped Real Madrid open time and time again.
Sure, yeah, they did. They obviously
behind the
defence.
Yes, they didn't put the ball in the back of the net, but they ripped them open time and time again. Right, that's Real Madrid, one of the best teams in Europe. Yes, they're in a slump at the moment, but still, they've got the quality. PSG. These players have all come from places like that. Edinson Cavani's been in Serie A. Neymar's been in La Liga, winning trophies left, right, and centre. They've been there. They've done that. So they've come together. They probably raise their game when they play in the Champions League because, of course, they are coming up against better opposition. It's more important for them. There's more pride on the line, all that sort of thing. You're right when you say that League One is just not good enough. Who else is there in the league? Monaco, Olympique Lyon. Some decent teams, but nothing to compare to the likes of the Premier League or La Liga. But still, if you look at their individual quality that they've got, they're absolutely unreal, So I think they can compete with anybody on their day. That fixture is not over and done with just yet, I'm telling you that.
I think Real Madrid will probably have them.
Did you see Neymar?
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Cavani's got one of the best goal-scoring rates in the world.
PSG have to win 2-0. They have to win 2-0 to go through.
Oh, Real Madrid are favourites now, yeah, but PSG, they're still in it, do you know what I mean? And they still are challenging.
But there we go. I mean, it showed them up a little bit to a certain extent. I think you look at the Premier League teams, you look at Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United to a lesser extent. Right? These teams are right up there playing week in, week out against the the big boys. Real tricky games. I think even you can see how there's no clear relegation candidates this season because it's literally like anything from 10th down.
PSG,
that's how competitive our league is. You don't get leagues like that across the continent.
But if PSG were in the Premier League, where are you saying they would finish? Because they would definitely finish top 4. They would.
Yes, but what I'm saying is they'd be more used. The players would be more used to playing these high octane games.
But maybe that's better. Maybe it's better that they don't have to use their squad so much in important games.
I don't think it is because you need to be used to playing those top games.
They can have them fresher
on a more regular basis. Otherwise you get lazy. You think this is easy. This French league's easy, and you forget how to play against the proper talent.
But winning breeds confidence, and confidence gets wins.
Sure, but I don't know. I think they're a bit shit still. I think they're defensively frail because they're not used to playing against the proper attacking talent across the continent.
I do agree though. If you're playing, week in, week out against teams of a high caliber, surely that's only going to breed a better quality of football when it comes up against, comes to playing these teams in opposition leagues around Europe. But they do have the quality in there individually. If you look at their team on paper, they've got as good a team as anyone really. Maybe not defensively, but certainly the attacking talents they've got unreal. Jack and Brad Gamer says Henry talking sense. That's a turn up for the books, isn't it?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You got a fan there.
Let's talk about PSG, right? This is a crazy idea, right? I heard this somewhere or other, but imagine PSG being incorporated into the Premier League. Money-wise, it could work. Politically, could be something post-Brexit between France and our own country there to a certain extent.
They could never do that.
But I mean, imagine how crazy that would be. Like a merger, just to
They could never do that, man.
But what about
Did you maybe get Celtic into the Premier League? That's about it.
Bournemouth to Newcastle was about the same distance as Bournemouth to Paris. That's interesting, isn't it?
That is interesting, but then you've got to factor in Paris to Manchester, Paris to Newcastle.
Personally, I'd hate it though. I'd hate having a French team in our league.
It wouldn't be the Premier League anymore. It's the English Premier League.
Me. The only other teams that I'd ever consider being happy to incorporate would be obviously all the Welsh teams. What annoys me is you've got the top Welsh teams in our league, but then they've got their own league. It's like, fuck that. You all get incorporated or you don't. Fuck off Swansea, fuck off Cardiff, if you're not going to let West Glamorgan come in or whoever, these smaller teams or whatever it is. They should all just be incorporated, right?
And if they're going to be it, why can't the Scots be in it? And the Scottish teams...
That's it. And maybe I don't know if the Northern Ireland have any decencies. They probably do.
No, realistically, Scottish teams, if you filter them out, if you have some sort of qualifying process and you filter them out through the leagues and add, say, like 3 teams to each league down the Football League, what teams are actually going to get into the Premier League?
For me, only Celtic would be in the Premier League. Aberdeen would be, yo-yo club.
And you'd have to say right now, if you put Celtic in the Premier League and let them have a season in the Premier League with things as they are right now, they'd probably get relegated. That's just a fact.
Maybe.
I think they would. I think they would. I think that's interesting. But imagine if you're Celtic, what I would want to do 100%, because you're going to get the TV rights deal. So immediately, that gives you £90 million at the start of the season to be able to challenge. And if you're Celtic, surely you want to just do that. You don't want to be in the Scottish football. Who cares about winning the Scottish League?
It's the only one that I'd accept considering. But I do think we need to talk about. I mean, there's always been talk about this for years, ever since I was a little one. People talk about one day there'll be this European Super League. So we're not talking Champions League. We're talking everyone playing their league games, the point system, everything, across Europe. And I don't like it. I don't like the idea. What I love about the current setup is you've got your national league, your national pride of the national league. And then you've got the Champions League, so the best teams from each country go to play in a cup tournament like the World Cup. That's how it should be. Just leave it at that. I'm happy with that. That entertains me enough. Don't mess with it. But it's all about money these days. That's the problem.
I agree. I mean, what is it? It's just a bigger version of the Champions League, right? Because you can't have a league full of 60 teams. There's just not enough days in the year. So you would basically have to take 4 teams from England, four teams from Spain, and make a league that way. And it's just bollocks, isn't it? That's never going to happen. Leave it as it is. Have the Champions League as the Champions League, and then let all the domestic leagues run as they are. Definitely. Who's coming up with that idea, mate? That's bullshit.
It's absolutely, I mean, well, I don't know. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. I'm not.
By the way, I've got a time limit tonight, lads and lasses. So this is actually a short pigcast tonight. I do apologise, but I've got to get going pretty damn soon. It's actually 7:30, so it's basically the time that I'm supposed to go now. So we can continue talking for a couple of minutes if there's anything else you want to talk about.
You keep talking for a bit. I'm going to do what you did to me earlier. So this is your little bit of talking time now. Because I'm looking for a comment that was made by someone that made me laugh, made me chuckle the other day, and I'm just looking for it. Hopefully I can find it again. I hope I haven't
Jim
lost it.
Olsen comments, would Spurs get into that? That's the thing. If we were going to take 4 teams from every single league, Spurs would absolutely not get into a European Super League, would they, right now? Not in the first division anyway. They're in the second freaking division, aren't they? Because, you choose the top 4 teams. Historically, Spurs are not a top 4 team. They're just not. You'd have to say it would be Manchester United. Right now, it'd be Manchester City. It'd be Chelsea. And then you're talking about a toss-up between Arsenal and Liverpool. Spurs are the 6th biggest team in England. That's what I'm saying right now. Henry won't like that. Most Spurs fans won't like that. But that's the truth. That's how I see it. They're just a bang average team. Historically, when's the last time Spurs won anything? Do you know that, Henry? When was it? 1992 or something? What was it? Fucking Worthington Cup or something, mate? Some secondary bullshit trophy nobody gives a fuck about.
We won the League Cup 10 years ago, 2008. Okay,
2008. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2008. Harry Redknapp days. Harry Redknapp days. Was it Juan de Ramos? Who was it, mate? Harry Redders? Who was it, mate? What I'm saying is those were your glory days. Those are considered your glory days. And let's face it, there's not been very many of those as a Spurs fan. So. So you're trying to find this comment here, mate. You're doing a piss poor job of it, aren't you?
Ignore your shit. I'm looking for a comment. It was a really good comment. It was
Alex
funny.
Rincon, how's it going, my friend? He says Spurs won the Mickey Mouse Cup in 2008. Fucking frauds. It's quite funny when you've got a Spurs fan sat next to me saying that they're one of the best teams, just as likely to win the Champions League as anybody else. All this bollocks, quite frankly. When you look at the facts, they haven't won barely anything throughout their history. 2008 League Cup. Are you serious? Manchester United in a transitional bullshit season under Jose Mourinho's first season in charge last year won 3 trophies, okay? All Mickey Mouse trophies, but even so, it's pretty much better than Spurs' entire history. That's why they've got teams who, when they beat teams like Manchester United or Real Madrid in the group stage of the Champions League, they celebrate like they have won the Champions League because that's all they're used to, is coming up short. Do you like what I've just said about your team there, mate?
Here we go. This I found sorry, Matt, I was just ignoring because they Tottenham are looking good at the moment. We've got a strong team, we've got a great manager, we're right in the Champions League, we're like 4 points behind you. It's like, bring it on this season, bring it the fuck on, because I'm enjoying it at the moment. I think you're the ones that are more worried with all your history and yes, we're Manchester, we're supposed to be the best team in the world and we're just not at the moment. You're like Gollum who's lost the ring. That's what you are. Here we go. This is the comment, right? So this is from Stay Clint, right? You're
a big fan of Stay Clint, aren't you?
Just because this made me laugh, right?
He's a big fan.
He's obviously a United fan, but I like his sense of humour. So this is what he said, and this was 2 weeks ago. Okay, I think this was after Tottenham beat United. This is what I want to finish on this evening. All right. Stakelet says, metaphorically, as Spurs kicked off, me, in anticipated excitement of the battle, I began to dip a rich tea biscuit into my double-sized Sports Direct mug of Aldi No. 5 strength with 4 scoops of cafetiere goodness plunged out, and you have to keep an eye on these one dippers. So as Phil Jones lunged, my biscuit plunged along with my team's determination. 10.52 seconds of happiness. That's not even a woman's 100-metre race of time. Should have got hobnobs. I love that.
Stay Clint, you're a great subscriber, mate. That's a good bit of bants right there. I like it. Fair play to you. Keep them coming. We want one on this video. Here he is on the comment section, actually laughing your head off. Thank you very much, pal, for getting involved. Gungshi says, good one. Everybody, you're a bunch of legends. Thanks so much for tuning in. Sorry we can't do a longer one. Usually we do a customary 90-minute podcast. It's always usually about 90 minutes. Just don't have the time tonight, you know. We weren't able to do the Valentine's one, you know. We're both trying to get our end away, weren't we?
You know, I'm not in any rush, you know what I'm saying?
We were both trying to get our end away yesterday, so no, that's not what it was. We're celebrating Valentine's Day with the loves of our lives. Do you know what I mean? That's what it really comes down to. So we were not able to do a podcast yesterday as usual, so sorry about that, but you know, we will be back to normal schedule on Wednesday coming up. We'll be doing a Pig of the Hen show Wednesday around about 8 p.m, 8:30 p.m, something like that, for an hour and a half, usual sort of time. So
that's it. What's this last one that we haven't covered?
Rooney, yeah.
Rooney had a granny. Is he back on that again?
No,
is that what that's there?
Let's just congratulate Wayne Rooney, actually, on welcoming into the world his 4th boy.
Oh,
4 boys in a row. He cannot miss.
I didn't know that. That's what I thought it said Rooney had a granny.
No, mate. What's the matter with you, mate? Anyway, Wayne Rooney, so his 4th boy, he can't miss. If you want a boy, you can go see Wayne. He cannot miss. But unfortunately, they do all look like him. So, you know, it's a bit of a gamble.
Well, that's a bit harsh. You know.
But do you want to know his name, what they've named it? It's basically, they've named him Cass, C-A-S-S.
Cass Rooney?
Cass Mac Rooney.
He's going to be the good footballer.
Sounds like some sort of makeup or something, doesn't it? But
Mac Rooney?
Yeah. No, it's funny though, because they've broken like the naming scheme that they had. They all boys all started with the letter K. Why they've called him Cass? Why not just call him Cass with a K? Why does he have to be the odd one out? Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Sort it out, Wayne and Colleen.
He knows that one's going to be the
he's the special
football player. He's like the Romeo out of the Cruise.
Maybe he's the castaway.
In the Brooklyn or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? I don't know which one of them kids is the best footballer. Will we see 3 Beckhams in the same team? I love this. I love siblings in football. I think it's brilliant, right? It really
probably
dads and sons and brothers and stuff that I use now gone to Swansea. You know, West Ham had Mares letting their Ayew go because he was a good Ayew, right? And now Swansea have 2 of them, and they're pretty good. I think they'll stay up now. I know I had them from relegation before, but they've been brilliant under Carvajal. Shout out to him. Have you heard some of the things that he comes out with? Like before we were like, you know, we were dead on the bottom of the sea, you know, the fish were swimming above us, and then we, you know, we haven't been able to breathe until after this game, you know. He says shit like that. He's brilliant.
Fucking hell.
He's absolutely brilliant, that guy. You know,
what an intense
Paul Clement off. It's all about the Carvajal. I like that guy. So they're going to stay up now. But, you know, it's interesting. West Brom's still going down. They needed a result against Chelsea.
Mate, you are fantastic. You're just rambling on about nonsense.
West Brom are going down. People
this is pure nonsense. Nobody gives a shit about this. We were just talking about
Wayne
Rooney and his kids.
The 3 that have to go down. Because you brought this up the other day when my 3 to go down started to do a bit better. And you're like, ooh, you know, what about your 3 now? Well, let's just quickly say it. Quickly say it. West Brom at the foot of the table. 20 points. Going down. Southampton have an absolute mares. Showing no bottle at all, no fight. They're going down. I think Swansea will be all right now because they got the Carvajal in. I wasn't anticipating the Carvajal when I anticipated them going down. Okay? So it's going to be someone else now, probably Stoke City. Just because they're in the bottom 3 at the moment.
Thanks for that, Henry. Thank you for that, Henry, mate. Let me just echo Alex Rincon's sentiments here. He's just commented and said, don't give 2 shits about the relegation team. So I just want to echo that, mate. But thanks for your drivel there, pal.
Alex Rincon's more interested than Lord of the Rincons. Do you know what I mean?
Anyway, let's wrap it up there. We've got to wrap it up, unfortunately. But thank you to everybody who's tuned into this live stream podcast. Do us a favour, chuck a like on this video. You can also share it around on social media amongst your friends. You know you want to. Make sure you come and subscribe over on iTunes and the podcast app. And SoundCloud, Mr. Flying Pig HD, or search the Pig and the Hen Show so you can actually just listen to the audio version of this podcast when you're working out or on the toilet, whatever you want to do.
We got a good cast next week. Do you know why?
Go on.
Wednesday. What's happening next
It's Champions League, isn't it? It's Champions League.
This is the real way you're going to get done. Seville's going to roll in Rafa just for the game, mate, and he's going to do you.
Right, thank you to everybody for joining in. Make sure you do come back for the match companion for the Manchester United versus Sevilla game that's taking place in the Champions League next Wednesday. I'll be with him again then, and we'll have some more conversations. So thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you very soon indeed. Follow us on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD and Henry_Hotspur. Anything to add at the end here? You smiling Cheshire cat of a dirty Spurs fan.
No, I don't. I'm really looking forward to the matchcast next week, actually, when I just saying that joke about Rafa coming in or whatever, because I just have a funny feeling that you might... If you bottle it, it'll be funny, mate. It will be funny, mate, if you're just bottling it. You'll be about Jose to go, won't it? Jose out. That's coming, isn't it? Get the T-shirt. Get the T-shirt now.
So with that jacket on, mate, in a little bit of a homage to Arnie, do you want to say hasta la vista to the subscribers or not?
Hasta la vista, baby.
Right, we'll catch you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. I've been the pig. He's been the hen. You've been watching The Pig and the Hen Show on Flying Pig United YouTube channel. We'll see you next Wednesday, round about 8:30 UK time, for another edition. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Take it easy.
I'll be back.